This is cool down session number 1. It's done in a way that you guys can follow along. So just starting, we're standing on a grounded leg. Feel free to use an upright for this. Standing on a single leg, bring your heel towards your bottom. So we're looking for a stretch through our quad muscle or through the front of the thigh there. Make sure you stay nice and tall. Try and keep those knees together. Try not to let that knee drift out to the side. And want to stay really tall on that grounded leg so the hip's not dropping. And we'll go over to the other side. All of the stretches that we're doing today are for a 10 to 20 second hold. So if you feel like you want to hold any of these stretches longer, feel free to use this as a reference video and and hold for longer. Lovely. Our next one is a standing hamstring stretch. So from here, we're going to split the stance. We're going to bend both knees and send those hips back. Notice how my back's staying nice and straight. I'm not slouching forward. I'm not rounding down. I want to really stick my butt out here as I reach down towards the ground. You'll feel restriction in your hamstring once you actually get the stretch. Rounding your shoulders to get more range won't actually increase or improve the stretch that you're getting. Really try and keep a nice straight back, and that'll keep the stretch up in your hamstring. Just resetting over on the other side there. Splitting the stance again, straightening that front leg out and sending the hips back. If the leg's totally locked and you're getting a stretch only behind the knee, you can have a go at bending the knee slightly and hinging a little further forward. That'll move it up a little bit higher. Both of these are valid stretches. They're just stretching different types of tissue. Feel free to mix and match and change it up each time you go into a stretch. Lovely. Our next one is a calf stretch. So we're heading on down to the ground for this one. Dropping the heel down towards the ground with a straight knee, looking for a stretch through our calf. So just above the ankle there at the back of the leg. Again, we're holding for 10 to 20 seconds. And we're just going to gently shift over to the other side. Just while you guys are doing that second one, another variation, if you're not getting much of a calf stretch there, is to go up against a wall. Place your heel as close to the wall as possible, toe facing up towards the sky, and just lean in towards the wall. You can do this with a slightly bent knee as well. That's going to change the stretch. Similarly, you can do this on a step. So just by having your foot elevated, balls of your feet on the step, you'll be able to drop your heel down and find a really nice stretch there. This can be done again with a straight leg or a slightly bent knee. Again, it just stretches or has a bias towards different muscle groups. After that, we're moving into a pec stretch. You'll need a wall or a pole or an upright for this one. Shoulders at approximately 90 degrees, elbows at approximately 90 degrees. We're placing the forearm on the pole and we're gently turning our body away from it just to stretch those muscles through the pec or through your chest and through the front of the shoulder. So really try and relax there. Pull the shoulder blade down towards your back pocket as you gently turn away from the pole. And we're just trying to relax into that position. Nice, over onto the other side. Again, this can be done against a wall. You can even do both arms at the same time if you get up against a doorway. Have one arm on each wall. Nice and really gently there. If you spend a lot of time on a computer or doing a lot of work in front of your body, your pec and shoulder muscles can get really tight and that can lead to poor posture. Stretching out your pecs is something you can do throughout the day that's going to help that. And our final stretch is a lat stretch. So we're going to head on down to the ground for this one. Palms under shoulders, knees under hips. From here, I'm going to put my right hand on top of my left hand. So right hand goes onto the left. I'm going to walk my knees back, keeping my hips up nice and high. I'm going to drag back off my right hand. So I'm going to lean back off that right hand, keeping my left hand there as an anchor. So my right hand's grabbing my left hand, which is pinned to the floor, and I'm pulling back off it, leaning away from it, and sending my hips in the opposite direction. The goal here is to try and lengthen the whole right hand side of your body. And from the front, I'll do the other side from the front. So we can swap sides there. Put your left hand on top of your right hand. Keep your right hand anchored. Walk the knees back and you're leaning out to your left hand side this time. Notice how I'm leaning right out to the left to lengthen the left hand side of my body, but my hips at the back here are also going to the right hand side. That's just going to give us a bit more of a stretch. If you're not getting much of a stretch here, play around with your knee position, just so your hips stay up nice and high. If you're too bent over, might be a little bit harder to find enough leverage to get a nice stretch. Likewise, if you're too stretched out, you're not going to be able to apply the right amount of pressure. Just going to start in a tall plank position. we're gonna take one leg, kick it forwards and bring it across our body. So from front on, it'll look like this. Now, for those of you who have fairly limited tightness in your hip, you may feel this in your knee slightly. I'll give you a variation for that in a moment. Just for now, try bring your ankle closer towards your hip or closer towards your feet. For those of you that are a bit more bendy, the goal is to eventually try and keep your shin square with your body, so perpendicular to your body there. I don't have a huge amount of hip mobility, so I'm somewhere in between. So from here, we're just holding this stretch. You should find a nice stretch in your glute. You can drop down to your forearms or even extend out for a slight variation of this stretch. Once you've got a nice stretch, holding for 5 seconds, then alternating to the other side. So just in your own time here, we're hitting that nice pigeon stretch. I'm actually a little bit tighter in this hip. If you are finding that you're tighter in one side compared to the other, that's perfectly normal. Feel free to spend a little bit longer on that tighter side. It's up to you. We've got 60 seconds here. Just alternating sides, nice and gently. So it's an opportunity for you guys now just to explore any of those tight areas through your hips. If you find that you're a bit tighter on one side, spend a bit longer there. Hope you guys enjoyed that. Hope you're feeling nice and loose. Incorporate these into the end of your sessions and end of your workouts. You can get through them quite quickly. Feel free to incorporate any of these stretches throughout the day as well. The more you do, it's going to have an accumulative effect and ultimately help you guys achieve your goal. Good luck. Have a good day.